Hello, friends. I'm Cassandra Joan Butler, Agent 56 with the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, and this is Cosmic Connections for this week, for the 11th of October, as we are on the throes of the solar eclipse on Saturday the 14th. So thank you for joining with me tonight. It feels almost surreal, I would say, absolutely surreal. And good evening to everyone, and good morning to everyone who's coming in. Thank you. That just 1 week ago, we're talking about the emergency broadcasting system device that was going on across the United States. That seems like light years ago, right? Because what happened this weekend in the Middle East is riveting and horrific and making us all unsettled, perhaps ill, frantic. It goes beyond words. It seems very surreal. That's my experience of it. And yeah, we did talk about that last week. We talked a little bit about the Pluto squaring Mars. And I said, it doesn't necessarily mean war, but it was exact over the weekend. And of course, Pluto's rage and Mars's attack. And the surprise attack on Israel is just shattering on so many different levels, and the repercussions of this is going to continue. I am not an expert in the Middle East politics, but I would direct you, perhaps, if you are so inclined, to take a listen to Medal of Honor winner David Bellavia's radio show. He was on WBEN 930. No matter where you are in the world, if you do go to WBEN radio and check out David Bellavia, he had a show and he was talking about that issue from his expertise, from his service. He's a highly decorated soldier in the U.S. Army, and he gave some riveting perspectives this morning and throughout the day. And I understand he was on Fox this evening as well. He was talking about the Middle East in terms of not just what has happened since this weekend, but the repercussions going forward. I am going to connect this with our charts, of course, because, again, we have a healing prerogative for each of us during eclipse season. And let me explain. This new moon solar eclipse in Libra is very much about rebalancing ourselves. It's actually opposite Chiron. That's not the only aspect. Black moon Lilith is very strong. I'll look at the chart in a minute with you. But this is the countdown to the Great American Eclipse, when across the continent of North America, we have that blackout on April 8th. And that solar eclipse in Aries, Aries, Libra is the polarity of war and love. And that particular solar eclipse is conjunct Chiron. And so think in terms of, we have 6 months in order to try to embrace our own personal healing. And of course, I've been thinking a lot about this. Again, we're all shaken up, very shaken up by what's happening in the Middle East. It has repercussions across the globe. And one of the things that struck me on a very micro level was that 2 nights ago, I, like you, have been, digesting the horrific pictures and the reports. And to quote David, sometimes the first casualty of war is untruth. So we don't really know, but we do know that this was a unilateral attack on Israel. And there's just a lot of repercussions. But anyway, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I noticed that my whole stomach was inflamed, and I was feeling incredibly nauseous and sick. And I became incredibly nauseous and sick in the middle of the night. And it's kind of terrifying when you lose control of your body, right? I mean, I was losing control of my body. I didn't know what was happening. It felt like it was food poisoning, but I knew I hadn't had anything barely to eat. And in that acute phase of discomfort, I wanted to go back to sleep because we all need our rest. What happened was I went directly to, like I'm so sure many of you do, go online and try to read something, try to divert one's attention. And I decided not to. I decided I went to my meditation and my tapes and my prayers, and I kind of filled my cup that way at 3 a.m. And I realized that as an analogy, that's what we can do to help the global infrastructure of what's happening in the world. We can't really do anything except perhaps keep ourselves in balance. And that's the call of this new moon solar eclipse in Libra. Libra is all about the balance. Libra is all about beauty. Libra is all about what makes us happy, what makes life worth living. So please identify where that Libra falls in your chart. And I'll give that protocol to you in just a moment, because that is the only thing we can do in the face of horrific, bones and mind-bending horror in the world, is to try to fill up our own cup in some ways, and not to be in the throes of despair, because despair and fear keeps us from connecting with all that is good. So, hello, good evening, good morning. Thank you for being here, friends. Thank you from my heart to your hearts. Good evening, good morning. Seen some comments. I guess here's the question of the day. How are you coping in the past 5 days since the Middle East has burst into horrific and horrible war? How are you coping? How are you trying to not just make sense of it, because I'm not sure anyone can, but how are you coping? And let's take a look at the charts. Hi, hello, good evening, friends. Good evening. Hello, I'm going to bring my chart to the room, keeping in mind, as we're doing the countdown to the solar eclipse is like a new moon on steroids. So we're trying to rebuild wherever we find the Libra in our charts. So the Sabian symbol, let's start with that. A child is giving birds a drink at a fountain. And that's a very precious image. It's evoking innocence. It's invoking nature. It's invoking the idea of the messenger. Birds are often an image of the messages from the heavens, right? And a child is, of course, the epitome and archetype of beauty, innocence. It's the closest replication of humankind in its infancy. And it's about innocence. Now, as like I said last week, when we're talking about Pluto square Mars. Mars is war, Pluto is rage, and that will never happen again for the next 268 years in those signs. All right, it just won't, because Pluto is going to be moving into Aquarius. There'll be other Pluto Mars squares, but not in Libra and Capricorn. So Pluto's been squaring the nodes. This feels like there's a sense on the planet, perhaps in your own lives, in your microcosmic journey, that things are very karmically destined right now. There, you might be facing some things in your own life that if you don't get this right, nothing else will matter. We're all kind of feeling that energy because Pluto is squaring the nodes, and it has been. Pluto is intense. Pluto is all about transformation at the deepest core. Pluto is also in conjunct Black Moon Lilith, which is the energy of that which is beneath the surface. It's the feminine, frenzied, fearless, and outside of the realm. That's what she represents. And she's conjunct Juno. Like, we want to have a partnership, but Pluto in conjunct Black Moon Lilith right now, even our own lives, even our own partnership lives, maybe hitting an obstacles and standstill. Pluto is square the solar eclipse on this upcoming Saturday. So we're feeling this sense of destiny in our own lives. The South Node, which is the ending part of our lives in Libra, is where the solar eclipse is near, right? And it's all opposite Chiron. I talked about that in the first moments. This is a chironic journey that we're all on in the sign of Aries. To thy own self be true, and healing our own wounds the best of our abilities in the next 6 months. It's imperative to put ourselves in the driver's seat to the best of our intentions and to try to heal our shadow, because that is the call really since 2018, since Chiron has been in the sign of Aries, but now it's really coming up to be looked at and revealing what we need to do to not just fix ourselves, but to heal our shadow, to look at the parts of ourselves we don't like and still embrace and connect with that. It's interesting. The part of fortune is conjunct the part of spirit. I've been working with the part of fortune, of course, for many years, but the part of spirit is that calling card of connecting with the spirit that guides us all. And that's opposite Vesta here. Vesta is spiritual practicing and doing what we want to do. Like that night when I was wanting to avoid the pain and fear of my physical body, I decided I was not going to read more about the war, right? Because I think that was somehow triggering my body to react. Who knows? It was maybe a virus, who knows? But the point of the matter is, I deliberately said, I'm not going to read anything that's online. I'm going to go to something that's soothing and taking care of myself, because it was just too much. And trust me, friends, even if you don't even watch the news or listen to the news, you're still picking up the fear and the horror in the sky. You can't help it. If you're human, you're picking this up of our brothers and sisters who are suffering so. So this is our new moon solar eclipse, and how it's going to be affecting us is this way. If you're Aries or Aries rising, it's asking you to let go of control in your relationships, okay? Because that's where it's falling in your chart. Letting go of control of relationships. Let go and let God, or just let go. You can't control. For Taurus, it's letting go of control in general. And trusting that intuition, trusting the life force to keep you moving forward without interruption. If you are Gemini or Gemini rising, this solar eclipse is activating your belief patterns and your thoughts and your feelings and your confidence in expressing yourself, no matter what that might be for you beautiful Geminis. For Cancer, it's all about trusting your ability to lead and letting go in those areas you can't lead. By the way, the United States of America is a Cancer country, all right? Letting go of what you can't do in leadership ability. And for our Leo friends or Leo rising, it's letting go and releasing and healing friendships and groups and associations. For Virgo, it's letting go of your deepest fears, letting go and healing that fear within yourself. For Libra, it's letting go of yourself. There's some things God laughs when we're making plans. I'm a Libra rising. So this solar eclipse is letting go of that Libra parts of ourselves. If you're a Libra sun sign or Libra rising sign, like for example, today I had great intentions to do certain things and my whole schedule got uprooted because of a personal crisis that happened that I attended to. Everything's okay, but I'm a Libra rising. So you have to let go. You have to let go, Libras, with this solar eclipse. With Scorpio, you're letting go of your attachment to your values and or your money. Maybe you might let go of your money in some ways, Scorpio, or not be afraid of abundance and moving forward. For Sagittarius, you're letting go of not having to be right all the time with this solar eclipse. For Capricorn, you're letting go of certain things within your home and family that you don't have that much control. You're letting go of making decisions for the other family members, for example, Capricorn. For Aquarius, you're letting go of some of the things you thought you wanted to do for fun, but maybe you don't have time or money to do those things that give you joy, and letting go perhaps of attachment or control of your children. And Pisces, you're letting go of certain things within your work environment and just saying, I have to heal and surrender in those areas. So this is a letting go solar eclipse in the sign of Libra. And it's paving the way for the big one in Aries. You understand? So Libra is the south node. Aries is the north node. We're moving towards personal sovereignty and personal responsibility and personal healing in the next 6 months. And we might not be able to control anything in our homes or even our physical bodies, but we can surrender and heal our minds, because the brain and the mind is an Aries ruled entity, right? When we think about who we are, we think about how we think. I think, therefore I am. All right. Hello. Thank you for sharing, Donna. Thank you. Sending love. I love that comment, Kathy. And sending love out to whatever and accepting the highest good every morning. That's a beautiful, beautiful saying. We appreciate that, Kathy. Letting go of attachment to your job. Very good, Melissa. Thank you. Very focused on the present moment. These are all great suggestions. Being in the now, making attention and paying attention to the given moment of every designed point of our breaths in our lives. This is very difficult to do when we have all this. I think of the allegory of, we had these signals coming in 1 week ago, right? The emergency broadcast system on our phones and our computers. And, it's so magical and mystical and physics. And, but yet that's always going on. There's always emotional clatter going on in our brains. So we have to become as sovereign as possible, take care of ourselves, fill up our cup. Let's do some spiritual messages. How's everyone else doing today, huh? Okay. Okay. Action today is rebuilding, new beginning next week. Very good. Hello. Okay. Yes. Hi, Linnell. Oh God. Yes. Angie, I know. It's heart-wrenching and horrific, but again, it's so easy to have our physical bodies react. I think that's what my body was doing 3 nights ago. I mean, waking up in the middle of the night and I was just retching, and it was horrifying. And I think we have to keep ourselves as centered as possible, because that helps the greater collective. We are living in extreme times. You can't have Pluto squaring the north and south node without extreme things happening on this planet, and perhaps in our own microcosmic world as well. I know I have, and I'm sure you have as well. So we're all in this together. So that's just my 2 cents about this. A couple of notes for you all. If you're late night people, or you're on the California coast, I'll be doing a special talk with NCGR tonight. That's 10 p.m. Pacific time. I'm sorry, 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 7 p.m. Pacific time. And just really another couple hours here. And it's going to be on why we change. I've done a lot of research on why we change using astrology. The top 3 planets, right? Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. How are they interacting in our charts? So it's going to be a great discussion tonight if you're going to be up. So check it out. NCGR is on my website, or on my website, and also on my Facebook page. Another couple of notes for you. If you're in the Buffalo area, next Tuesday, we're going to be having a spirit stroll. Spiritual messages and the history of Williamsville, meeting at 7 p.m. at Garrison Park. Next week, we'll be starting up at the Lilydale Chat Astrological Cafe. That's going to be held every month on a Wednesday evening, and I'll be doing that with my friend, Reverend Patricia Bell. And please, friends, if you are listening to this any place on the planet, check out the offerings at the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, your one-stop shopping for astrology on this planet. So thank you for sharing, dear friends. And when you share, your name goes into a basket. And the winner of today's Lunar Lights Club for the month is Susan Price. Wow, that's kind of ironic. Hi, Susan. I don't know if you're in here tonight, but thank you for sharing. Thank you all for sharing. Sharing is caring. And now for the Cosmic Connections spiritual message part of our gathering. And how I do that, it's very random. I simply close my eyes, say a prayer, and give a short message, a meet and greet to whomever my fingers come to. All right. So please let me, you have to be in the room to receive that. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words to be filled with love and light, truth, inspiration, and healing for the highest and best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay. Taya, Celine, Willow, Schultz. I love your names. Taya, Celine, Willow, Schultz. Are you here with us? Would you like a message? Would you like a message? I'll wait to see yay or nay. Taya, okay. I'll wait for a few minutes. Oh, one more thing, friends. If you're interested in the Eclipse Retreat, I'm going to be holding that virtually and in person in Buffalo, New York. Information is on my website. Okay. All right, Taya, as I'm tuning into you, my dear, I'm very aware of a very strong legacy, I want to say, of advocates. I mean, I'm talking generationally, okay? Could have been not just your parents, but your grandparents, people who were community builders, people who had a say and a desire to make the world a better place. I'm on your mother's side of the family with your mother's mother, okay? Your mother's mother, your grandmother. I feel like she's in spirit. She's coming in. She was a very confident, strong woman who was known. She might not have been, with a title per se, but she was always doing good in the community and for others. And she's saying that you have that desire as well. Whatever you are doing in your life, professionally, it's as important what you're doing personally. You're helping, mentoring, assisting. The word is consulting. I feel you're very, 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 very busy. But the message from this grandmother is please take some time to smell the flowers. I love one of your names is Willow. Be in nature. Be with the trees. I'm getting flower essences with you. I'm getting aromatherapy. I'm getting herbs. I'm working with the natural gifts of nature with you, whether you're doing that professionally or just to help enhance your health and the health of others. I'm leaving you with that message. You've got a lot of good work to do in the world. So I hope that makes sense to you. All right. Thank you, Taya, for being here. Celine, Willow. Okay. And then we have another message to give. And I'm with Jen Lanzalin. Jen, hello. Jen, I'm with you. And as I'm tuning into you tonight, I'm feeling a sense of relief. I want to sit back in my easy chair and just exhale. It feels like you've been on the front lines at least since June of this past year, that there was a lot of difficulties in your immediate family, your immediate circle, and you're the person who's the glue, right, Jen? You're someone who's always, you're very welcome, Taya. You're always running on behalf of other people. And one of the things that I'm struck with as I'm tuning into your energy tonight is that you can do no more about a certain situation. This is a young person. I feel it's a young man. I don't know. I'm sure this is a son or a nephew or someone you've just been giving a lot of attention and support to. And I'm sitting back and saying, he's got this. All right. So I want to give you that because your input, your prayers and your guidance was really helping him along his path. The other thing I'm picking up with you tonight, Jen, is cookies. I'm not sure if there's a party coming up. Maybe you made cookies for Halloween. I have no idea. But I'm getting cookies or getting back into the baking mode. Perhaps you do that in the holidays anyway, but there's someone from Spirit who's talking about the joys of baking, but creating beautiful cookies. I'm not sure what that means to you, but I want to give that to you as well. Does that make sense? Okay, that does make sense. The yep says, specifically to the cookies, I'm seeing like the butter cookies, the rolled out ones, but painting them with all the frosting. Um, you ate some macaroons today. I don't know. What do the cuddle cookies mean to you, Jen? Or are you creating the cookies? Um, and it's not, but they're not for the Christmas holidays. They're coming up now. I want to leave that for you, but one more message for you. There's something about your um, mm, 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 considering some other mode of transportation, whether or not you're shopping for a vehicle or needing to fix up a vehicle, something along these lines. Let the eclipse pass. You'll have a better idea in the middle of November what to do. So I'm going to leave that with you, Jen, regarding you might want to wait a little bit longer before you make a decision regarding a vehicle. I'll leave that with many blessings. All right, dear friends. Thank you. Love and light to you all. Let's keep ourselves filled with love and light as much as we can, because we are in 6 months of incredible challenge. All right. We got the eclipse. The doorway is happening on this weekend. And then we have until the 8th of April to kind of monitor and do some very deep healing. As we heal, we can heal the world. And sometimes that healing is as much as doing prayers. And a lot of people are talking about positivity, because there's a lot more we can do than that. Taking care of ourselves is taking care of each other. Many blessings to you. We'll see you next week for Cosmic Connections. And check out, please, Cosmic Intelligence Agency. And check out my website, too, because I have a lot of offerings coming up for the next few months. Many blessings to you. Love and light. Thank you.